All right, let's get started. You can stack your 2 blocks, one on top of the other. And bring them underneath your feet. And just come onto your knees. So rather than bringing one shin in front of the other, which we do sometimes, I would rather you come onto your knees. And we call this hero's pose. So your knees can come a little bit together. So you find a little bit of internal rotation. And then your feet can come on either side of that block underneath you. Awesome. And if this feels like too much, you can also like take your second block and bring it to the medium height, which then like lifts you up a little higher. So whatever feels okay in your in the front of your legs and also in your knees. Bring your hands to the top of your thighs and take a deep breath in. Just shrug your shoulders as always, but use your exhale to let the tension sort of release from the sides of your neck, maybe in your shoulder blades, feeling them draw back and slightly together. And then allow your eyes to become just a little bit heavier, closed if you can. And just start to bring awareness to your breath. Notice the rise of your inhale and the fall of your exhale. And do that about 3 to 5 rounds on your own. Just maybe sitting up a little taller as you breathe in. And then sinking a little bit deeper towards the ground as you empty. Just finding a moment of calm. Maybe it's even calm amongst the chaos of your day so far, or even maybe your to-do list for what is still to come. And use this as an opportunity just to clear out a little bit of space or lessen the load of something that has been weighing heavy on you so far today or just recently. Maybe you choose to just like set that aside and not bring it to your mat, like knowing that you can actually like energetically set it aside. Know that that doesn't have to be part of your movement, part of your time. You can lessen its grip on you. Just take a full breath in. Maybe even open your mouth, let out a sigh as you empty to lessen that hold, lessen that grip. And then on your next few rounds of breath, I want you to think about what you'd like to bring in a little bit more of on your time or for your time on your mat. So that might just be like one thing, like an intention, right? So it might be just peace, calm, patience, maybe a little bit of courage or whatever it is that you'd like to cultivate more of. See that in your mind and take a deep breath in. Long breath out. And then keep coming back to that. Even if you're moving, you're always breathing, of course. But if your mind starts to wander to that thing that you've set aside, I want you to bring it back to that intention that you set. And so whenever you're ready, with your hands on your thighs, I want you to take a breath in and just start to lift your chin and lift your chest. Maybe even start to roll your shoulders back in space. And then as you exhale, I want you to round your upper back, drop your chin to your chest, and just round your shoulders forward. Maybe even drag the fingertips towards the knees. Do that one more time. Drag the fingers back towards your hips and lift the chest. Maybe lift the chin. And then exhale, drag the fingers forward and you'll round. Now keep the blocks where they are. I want you to rise up onto your knees. Reach your hands up and overhead as you lift up. And then just drop your right hand down and lean over to the right. And come back through center. Rise up, both hands, and then drop the left hand down, lean over to the left. And then you'll rise up, take a huge inhale. I want you to twist to the right. Your left hand will come forward. And then you'll slowly start to reach your right hand behind you. And I want you to bring your right forearm to your low back. So your palm will face out. And I want you to think about sending that right shoulder back in space. Maybe even look over it. Now, keep that half bind with the right arm. And I want you to reach the left hand up to the sky. Take a big breath in. And then slowly cartwheel the hands down, find tabletop pose. You might even squeeze that block, if you have it, with your feet. Take a breath in to lift the chest, find cow. And then a breath out to round and find cat, dropping the head. All right, so now slowly walk the hands back towards your knees. I want you to sit on those blocks. And then slowly start to come back up. Your hands will glide up your thighs. Take a breath in, lift the chest, lift the chin. And then exhale to round your upper back, drop chin to chest, shoulders forward. Now, just like you did before, rise up onto your knees, reach the hands high, lift the feet. Now it's a twist to the left. Right hand goes forward. Your left hand first, reach it behind you. And then wrap your left forearm around your low back with your palm facing out. Now, feel your shoulder blades squeeze together as you drive that left shoulder back. You might even look over your left shoulder. Yeah, now reach your right hand up to the sky. We'll call this like reverse twist. And then slowly cartwheel the hands back down to the ground. Lift of the heart, find cow again, breathe in. Exhale, press down through the hands and round your upper back, drop your head, cat. Now, start to grab those two blocks. I want you to bring them to the top of your mat, maybe on the highest height. They'll be there for you. Plant your hands, and over your next few rounds of breath, make your way to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. You can pedal out the feet. You can shake the hips side to side, maybe shake the head, yes and no. And start to walk the hands back towards your feet, land in that forward fold. Halfway lift, big breath in, heart forward. And then exhale, fold, bowing the chest. Do that one more time. Halfway lift, big breath in to lengthen. Bigger exhale to fold and let your head be the last thing to drop. Now slowly press through your feet, but sweep the arms out and up. Rise up, big breath in. And slowly bring your hands to your heart center. Come back to that word, that intention. Breathe in a little more of it. Open your mouth, clear out space for it. And then start to take your arms in along your sides. I want you to heel toe your feet just a little bit closer so they're right underneath your hips. And then start to bend through your right knee. So you're balancing on your left foot. I want you to pick one thing to look at so you don't lose your balance. And then take that right hand to the top of your foot. Now right away, this might feel like way too much. If it is, soften that left knee, it helps. Now engage the belly, don't let it just sink forward. And I want you to lift up through the crown of the head. Now you might start to press your right foot back into your hands, and then that knee travels back just a little bit further. Doesn't have to be big. And then you might reach the left hand forward for balance. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Now you're going to slowly let go of that foot. Reach the right knee up towards your chest. Squeeze it in. And then send your right heel forward. I just want you to take one big step into a lunge. So your back heel will lift up. You'll bend through the right knee. Reach the hands high. And if you need to, soften that back knee a little. Take a breath in to lift the heart as you inhale. And then tip it forward, sweep the arms back like wings. Reach the crown of your head forward. One more like that. Inhale, sweep back up. And then exhale, tip it forward and sweep the arms back. Now take your hands to those blocks. They should be right there. Take your blocks to frame your right foot. I want you to take that breath in to lift your heart forward. And then exhale to pull your hips back, maybe lengthen your right leg. We call this pyramid pose, but you might even start to hop that back foot up halfway to lessen the load on the back of your right leg. Now to create a little bit more space, you might wiggle walk that right foot wider out to the right. Take a breath in with hands on blocks, heart forward. And then exhale, stay or fold. You can even soften that right knee. No one says it has to be completely straight. Stay for the breath in. Big breath out. Now reach the chest forward as you inhale. Take the blocks with you. Now listen for this change. I want you to bring your left ankle behind the right. Wiggle walk the feet until they're nice and flat. You can bend the knees as much as you need to. Halfway, left hand stay on those blocks. But then I want you to walk them both over to the right to find a side body stretch. Yeah, and then also you might be feeling this in your left hip. Just a little bit more. Take a full breath in. Big breath out. And then you'll bring the blocks back underneath shoulders, right in the middle, halfway lift. Now slowly start to bring your hands to your heart center. Nice. And I want you to slowly rise up with the ankles crossed. Now we've done this before, but it's kind of a fun, fancy move. I want you to come up to your toes. I want the heels to rise. And you're going to just make this nice turn to the left to face the back of your mat. Arms down along your sides. Take a breath in. Shrug the shoulders. Exhale, let them fall down and back. Nice. Now it's just like where we started. I want you to reach or start to bend through your left knee. And then maybe start to take your left hand to the top of your left foot. So it's almost like you're setting up for what we call dancer's pose, but I want you to maybe even soften that right knee because it's early. And if you want a deeper stretch or a little more engagement, press the foot into the hand and then kick it away so that knee just travels back in space. Maybe reach the right hand forward, but stay upright in the chest. Take a full breath in. A big breath out. And then slowly let go of that foot. You'll bring the left knee up to your chest, squeeze it in, stand up tall. And then send the left heel forward, reach the hands high, big inhale. And then that big step towards the back of your mat. I want you to soften that back knee. Take a breath in. And then tip the chest forward, sweep the arms back. Awesome. Now rise back up. One more time. Big breath in. And then exhale, tip it forward, sweep the arms back. Nice. Now rise up as you inhale. And then slowly start to tip the chest forward. You can bring the hands to the ground or just turn, grab your blocks, bring them with you, frame your left foot. Once you're in that low lunge, I want you to take that breath in, heart forward, and then pull the hips back, pyramid pose. And you can hop that back foot halfway. Heel toe your left foot a little wider out to the left. Take your breath in to reach your heart forward. Stay or fold to deepen that stretch in the left hamstring. Stay, breathe in. Big breath out. Now it's your heart going towards the back of your mat. Lengthen it out. Now it's your right ankle that crosses behind the left. Stay here or walk both blocks over to the left this time. Maybe reaching your right fingertips a little bit further. Take a full inhale. Big exhale. Now back through center, those blocks will land just for good measure. You can keep them there. Slowly start to bring your hands to your heart and you'll stand all the way up with the ankles crossed. Now hug the inner thighs together even as you lift the heels up. And then you get to turn to the right to face the front of your mat, but you're at the back of your mat. Take a big breath in, shrug the shoulder. Open the mouth as you let them soften down and back. Sweep the arms high, take a big breath in. And exhale, fold, bow the chest. Take your halfway lift, inhale, lengthen it up. Keep the blocks at the back of your mat. I want you to walk your hands to downward facing dog. Huge breath in. Long breath out. Now this time I want you to rise up to your toes. Drop the knees down, find tabletop pose. Take a lift of the heart as you inhale right into cow. And then exhale, press the ground away and round into cat. Now start to point the toes straight back so the tops of your feet press on the ground. I want you to sit back on your heels and then take your hands to those blocks behind you. They should be right there for you. Now, as you start to turn your fingers forward on them, the palms will press down onto those blocks. You might stay here or maybe just start to lift the heart, maybe lift the chin. If you want a little more in the quads, press down through the hands and lift the feet up. So then maybe you can lift the heart a little more and you find that deep stretch in the front of your quads. Take one more breath in and then you'll lower the feet back down. I want you to take the blocks with you, reach them up and overhead, take an inhale, rise. And then as you exhale, tip it back and reach those blocks forward. One long. Yeah, one like that. Take a breath in. And then lower your blocks at the top of your mat. We get to play one more wave of that, but a different pathway, a little higher pathway. We're going to start to tuck the toes, float the knees, hips back and up, downward facing dog. Huge breath in, bigger exhale. This time your right leg will rise, three-legged dog. Now as you exhale, right foot to your right thumb. Drop your left knee down, reach the hands high, take a big breath in. Now right into that twist, left hand goes forward, right hand goes back. And then see if you can create that half vine with the right arm. Reach your left fingertips up as you open through the left hip. And then keep that half vine. We need to slowly start to bring your left hand down to your left block. Drag that block back inside the right foot. So like almost underneath your shoulder. Keep that half vine here for a moment. Maybe even wiggle walk that right foot a little wider. Take a breath in to lift through the heart. And then we just slowly glide that right hand to your inner right thigh. And then encourage it to roll out to the right. You can even start to like open your right foot like the side of a book, right? You're rolling onto the pinky toe side edge of your foot. And you can maybe even look over your right elbow. If you want a little more, bend the back knee, grab for the foot. And then you can draw that heel towards your left glutes to deepen that stretch. Now, if you need a blanket underneath your left knee, if it's like way too much, grab that blanket and then set it up. You're here just for 2. Last one. And then slowly start to come back through center. I want you to release that foot if you have it. Both hands come to your blocks, framing your right foot in that lunge. Take a breath in. Now tuck the back toes, lift the knee and pull the hips back into pyramid pose. Maybe that stance stays wide. You can even lift that back heel up. Reach your heart forward as you inhale. Stay or fold, bowing the chest, just for the breath out. Now, heart goes forward as you inhale. This time, take the blocks with you under your shoulders, warrior three. So your back leg will lift up, hip height. Keep reaching your heart further forward. Take a big breath in. Now bend both knees. I want you to tap the left knee behind the right. We call this Shiva squats. Yes, do that one more time. Big breath in. And then Shiva squat. Now kick the left leg back, heart forward. I want you to slowly start to open that left hip up towards the sky. Bend through the right knee. Land back, warrior two. Reverse your warrior right away. Right hand will rise. And then extended side angle, right forearm to your right thigh. Reach your left arm over your left ear. Take one big breath in like you were pulling your left foot, your left fingertips apart. And then come back, warrior two. Lengthen the legs, reach the arms high, parallel the feet. You're facing the long edge of your mat. I want you to just fold forward, wide leg forward fold. Shake out the head. Yes and no. Maybe bend into one knee and then the other. And then find the middle, halfway lift, big breath in. Slowly start to frame your right foot, coming back into that low lunge. I want you to drop the left knee down. Now, you're going to keep this stance. Maybe take your blocks with you. I want you to take one block, right, at least one block, maybe two, inside your left foot. Now, drag that right foot back closer towards you. So like this is your stance. And then you can even keep this for good measure. Maybe sit back on that block. And then you're like, ta-da. So your right knee is almost pointing up towards the sky. And your left knee is pointing forward. If you feel like this is too much in that left knee, stack two blocks, lift your hips higher. Now you can stay here, or this is like half reverse cow with a little bit more load. So maybe you press down with your left hand, and then maybe you start to lift your seat. And then you send your seat a little higher, maybe right hand under your head to hold it, or reach your right hand up to the sky. Yeah, this is like deepest stretch you'll get for the quads. Hello. Yes. So as you lift the seat, it's like a little bit of a back bend, but you have the leverage of that right foot pressing down. Take one more breath in. And then you'll slowly sit back on that block. Remove the blocks. Back to the top of your mat they go. And then come out of it. Just find tabletop pose. Rock the hips side to side. The head side to side. And take a breath in, lift the heart. And then exhale, round cat pose. Nice. Now tuck the toes, lift the knees, float the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Open the mouth, side out. Start to lift the left leg up and back. And then you're going to step left foot to your left thumb. Drop right knee down. Sweep the arms up. First, take that breath in. Right hand forward, left hand goes back to find the twist. Wrap the left arm around your low back and reach the right hand up. So you start to feel the whole front side of the right side get a little longer because you know where we're going. We're prepping for that shape. Now, right hand comes to that block. You might even drag it a little bit closer towards you. You can heel toe that left foot a little wider, maybe even turn the toes out to 10 o'clock. And then left hand to the top of your left thigh to drive that knee wide. Maybe look over your left shoulder, your left elbow. Now, if you want a little more, maybe you come a little lower with the block. Maybe it's the medium height. maybe it's the lowest. As you send your hips slightly forward, maybe you start to bend the back knee and grab for the foot. Maybe you just fish for it. Maybe you find it. And then you can stay and breathe here for 2. Nice and easy, last one. And you gently release the foot if you have it. Bring everything back into center. Both hands on your blocks, maybe the highest height. Start to tuck the back toes. Lift the knee up, pull the hips back. Pyramid pose with the wide stance or shorten it. Your choice. Take that breath in to lengthen, flat back. Just the exhale folds you forward. Now, halfway lift again. Take the blocks forward with you, warrior 3. Blocks underneath the shoulders. Your back leg, hip height. Take a breath in here. Now bend both knees, tap right knee right behind the left, Shiva squat. One more like that, inhale, send it back, heart forward. Again, Shiva squat, hug it in. Now kick the right leg back, heart forward. Start to turn your right hip up towards the sky. Bend the left knee, land back, warrior 2. Once you're there, reverse your warrior. Left hand will rise. Extended side angle, forearm to your thigh, right arm over your ear. One more breath in. Back to warrior 2. Now straighten the legs, reach the arms high, parallel the feet. If you want to bind here, you can interlace the hands behind you, lift the heart, and then hinge at the waist, fold forward, drop the head. You're not here long, just a full inhale. Bigger exhale. Releasing your hands down, halfway lift. Now frame your left foot at the top of your mat. Drop the right knee down. Now take the blocks behind you. One's going to come right where your feet will land. And then you'll drag that left foot back closer. You don't want it too far forward. Your other block can come into your right hand, just for balance. And then you'll slowly just sit down on that block. You might notice both sides are not created equal. And if you need a little more lift, stack your blocks. Start to hug that left knee in as you lift the chest. You might just stay here. Now, if you want a little bit of a back bend, take the block. Maybe start to lift your seat to find the stretch in the front of your right quad as you send your hips forward and reach your left hand up towards the sky. And it might take a little bit of maneuvering to find that deep stretch, but I want you to engage the belly so you're not just taking that as a back bend in your low back, but you're finding the lift of the pelvis and also the lift of the heart. There it is. Awesome. Take one more big breath in. Slowly come back down. You're going to remove the blocks. Tabletop pose. Shake the hips side to side, lateral movement in the spine, right and left. Take the knees nice and wide, big toes together. Seat goes back towards your heels. Chest bows towards the ground. Child's pose. Close your eyes. Feel the rise of your inhale. Sink into the ground as you exhale. Coming back to your intention, breathe it in and out. One more, fill all the way up. Maybe this time even open your mouth. Let something go. Slowly start to come back up through center. You're just going to swing your legs out in front of you. Come to a seat. Right shin in front of the left. You should have those blocks at the top of your mat. You might use them. You may not. That's okay. Reach your hands all the way up. Sit up tall and start to hinge at the waist. And I want you to just take your forearms on top of your thigh. It's not forearms on top of your blocks. And I want you to flip your palms up. And then you might stay here or then just round and bow the chest. It's a moment of surrender here. You're just here for 3. Feel the low back lengthen after all of that work. Last 2. Last 1. Slowly lift the chest back up. And then just switch, left shin in front of the right. Reach the hands high. Again, take a breath in. Hinge forward. And then release. Fold. Stay here for 3. Steady the breath. 2. Final 1. You'll rise up. You can take those blocks off to either side, one on each side, towards the middle of your mat. And then you'll just hug your knees towards your chest as you lift your heart high. And then make sure you have enough space behind you. You'll roll all the way down to the ground. Once you're there, hug your right knee in. And then find your supine twist. So send your right knee across your body. And if you want, you have that block right there. Maybe if you want it to be more restorative, you just let your right knee land on that block. And then you have the freedom in your chest to open up and reach out through the right hand. Maybe you feel that stretch in your right pectoral muscles in your chest and the shoulder. Then you'll slowly come back through center. Switch legs, left knee hugs in, and then drive it across. Maybe you stack it on that block on the other side. And then you have the freedom of the chest to open up, to find a stretch in the shoulder. And then you'll slowly come back through center, hug the knees in. And then you'll let the legs find the ground nice and long. Arms down along your sides. Closing the eyes. Well, if this feels good, you stay. Or if you'd like that constructive rest in a different way, you can always bend the knees and take the feet a little wider and knock the knees together. So similar to where we started in Hero's Pose, where the knees were drawing in and the feet slightly out, but you're laying down on your back. You get to rest. With the eyes closed, take a big breath in right here. Feel the chest expand. Use your exhale again to land. Notice if your mind wants to wander. See if you can bring your mind back without any judgment to that intention or that word. Breathe in more of it as you inhale. Soften on your exhale. Allow your next breath to be just a little bit bigger, a little more full than the last. And start to send your breath and a little more energy to your fingers, all the way down to your toes. And then just slow, subtle movements there, maybe even rocking your head side to side. You can even find a long body stretch, reaching your arms overhead and pointing your toes forward to one more time. Feel the front of your body lengthen and stretch. You can start to just bend your knees, roll to the side of your choice, and keep your eyes heavy, but rise up to a seat when you're ready. Once you're there, bring your hands together at your heart just to find a moment of gratitude for the ability to move, to breathe, to pause, to set things aside, and then choose what you pick back up or how you show up to do those things that you need. And take a full breath in. Long breath out. And take your thumb tips to the center of your forehead, maybe even lift your chin. A reminder to be kind to yourself and share that kindness in your own way with others. Namaste.